Hey friends, welcome back to another pick a card reading. Today's pick a card is all about answering the question, how can you manifest more money? So this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. These readings are always meant to empower you. Always trust your own intuition first with any reading that you watch. At the end of the day, you know what is best for you and you always have free will and choice. So remember that. If you would like to explore my podcast or my online shop, check out the links in the description. I do have all of the crystals that you see here today, crystal jewelry as well as non-crystal jewelry and everyday essentials, self-care items. They're all in my online shop. So check out the description for the link to my shop. Okay, so if you are new to pick a card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to pick the pile that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So each of the piles today has a specific crystal that is related to manifesting. So I thought that'd be really fun for this reading since we're talking about how to manifest money. So we have pile 1 here and we have a double terminated citrine point. We also have pile 2 here. We have malachite here. And then we have pile 3 here with the pyrite crystal. And then we have pile 4 here with the green aventurine point. You can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It's totally up to you, but when you're ready, go to the description of this video and find the timestamp that is linked to your pile so you can skip ahead to your reading and find out how you can manifest more money. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I will see you on the other side. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. Now let's dive in. Okay, so pile 1, the first card that you have is the 3 of Cups in reverse. You also have the 6 of Spears, which is the 6 of Swords. You have the Spider and Passion Flower. This one says Creative Ingenuity. And then you also have Sagittarius. This one says Expand. You have Skunk Spirit, Know Your Worth. And then you also have Meditation to Dig Deep. You also have Abundance. This one says Grape. And then you also have Name That Feeling. Okay, so the first card that we have here is, well, let's talk about. Okay, so we have the 3 of Cups in reverse, and then we also have the 6 of Spears, which is the 6 of Swords. So with the 3 of Cups in reverse, this can talk about things like maybe like issues related to community or friendships or feeling this like lack of support. It can also come up as feelings of like isolation or having challenges in working, with other people, right? So I feel like with this card, maybe you can consider whether there's maybe like relationships or any sort of like social dynamic that's holding you back from your financial growth. Things like negative influences or distractions. And maybe this could be a good time to distance yourself or to set boundaries, right? This is a really good time for you to focus on your own individual goals. So if you have been like caught up in the needs of other people, this card will really talk about this need to prioritize your own needs or your own goals rather than relying too much on like what everybody else is needing, right? So it's time to really go ahead and focus on what you can achieve independently and you using your own strengths to drive that financial success. Now, this card can also talk about some sort of like emotional barrier or like some sort of past experience that is hindering your ability to manifest abundance. So I feel like it's a good chance for you to reflect on any sort of unresolved issues or work on healing or letting go of whatever emotions that need to be addressed to clear your path, right? And I'm also feeling led to say that like just because you're in process of healing or just because you're in process of doing the shadow work doesn't mean that you can't manifest abundance or like manifest money during that time too. Like I feel like there's this false narrative out there that you have to be completely healed in order to like be ascended or have like abundance, and that's absolutely not true. I think that life is a work in progress and it's a journey, and none of us are just going to snap our fingers and be healed, and then, you know, that doesn't mean that we receive more abundance because we're healed. Like, you are allowed to receive more abundance just because you can, right? Hope that makes sense. Let's move on to the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords, this card can talk about things like transition, like moving away from difficulties, maybe finding a better situation. It's really this card of progress and leaving behind the things that don't serve you. So in terms of manifesting money, I feel like this is probably encouraging you to move forward, right? Embrace change, and maybe even look out for new opportunities or learn new skills, or maybe even change jobs or locations if necessary, right? If that resonates with you. Another thing that you can do here is focus on getting clarity in the mind, right? And focusing on creating a very calm and clear mindset. So using things like visualization or meditation or journaling about whatever financial goals you have can really help you to get refocused and get realigned with your desires, right? And if you are familiar with the manifestation process, you know that having clarity around your desires is one of the very most important things to do when you're first starting out in this manifestation process. And it's definitely one of the first steps in that journey. So yes. Another thing too with this one is like maybe let go of the past, right? I know it's like it's easier said than done, let go of the past, but I just mean that, like, in terms of being able to make more money or manifest more money, this card speaks to your ability to let go of the past, right? Leaving behind turbulent waters, leaving behind any sort of limiting belief or past financial mistakes, right? Trust that when you move forward and you have this positive and determined mindset and you're willing to try things differently, it's going to bring you to a place of greater financial stability. So I think with both of these cards together, with the Three of Cups reversed and with the Six of Swords, I feel like visualization is going to be huge, right? So visualize yourself moving away from any sort of negative financial pattern, right? And you actually like moving toward a more prosperous future. Like, actually picture yourself making wiser financial decisions or attracting the resources that you need, right? And for some people, they're like, I can't visualize. Like, visualizing doesn't feel like a good exercise for me. And so with that, sometimes I just like to like feel into it, vibe into it, embody the energy. So for me, I know music gets me in like certain moods or certain vibrations easier. So like if I am wanting to exude, like, I'm trying to think, what have I been listening to? Okay. What can I think of? Okay, this is really random, but like Beyonce, right? Like, well, the funny thing is I don't really listen to Beyonce. I think she's a wonderful person. I just don't find that a lot of her music is in my playlist, but you know, I know that she has a huge following. And okay, what are we even talking about right now? Basically what I'm trying to say is, like, you can use music to tap into certain energy. So if you're trying to like embody confidence or you know, raising your energy, like being, you know, stepping into your baddest bee energy, like that kind of thing, you would, you know, you could play Beyonce, and you could like you know, what do they say, like, not dress to impress, but like you dress for how you want to feel, right? So like, similar to like when you're going in for like a job interview, like you try to dress your best, you try to look presentable, right? So start playing with that energy of like whatever you're trying to attract, right? It's almost like being Delulu about it. If you're trying to attract a richer experience, or if you're trying to be wealthy in the future, then you start doing the things that wealthy people do now, right? Like, you're not waiting until some certain day on the calendar to start embodying that energy. You're just doing it now. So I hope that makes sense. Another thing here is I also feel like you could be using some affirmations. Maybe even taking some concrete, like, practical action steps towards your financial goals. So like if you're For example, if you're trying to budget better, right? You're like, I'm spending too much. Can you open up your bank statement and can you look at each of the charges that come through for that month, and can you see what you can take off, what you're not using, what's a rolling expense that can be easily removed from your monthly expenses, right? Something like that. Or if you are trying to explore new income sources, then the practical action step would be to start searching up job listings, right? Or if you're trying to invest in your education, then a practical step would be putting away 20 bucks a month, whatever, 50 bucks a month to save up for your education, right? What is that one concrete step that you can take toward whatever financial goal that you have? Now let's dive into the spider and passion flower. This one says creative ingenuity. So with this card, I feel like maybe for some of you, it could be beneficial to monetize a hobby, maybe like something creative, right? Because the spider creates the web. Maybe some of you have a talent, right? Like maybe in crafting or painting or, you know, digital design, or maybe some of you want to open up an online shop or have an Etsy, right? Maybe you want to offer your services on platforms, right? That you can do a little freelance on. I feel like the spider's energy here is encouraging you to weave a web of opportunities, right? Create something that is going to help you connect to other people, maybe through your creative work. I also feel like with this card, maybe some of you here could benefit from maybe like developing some sort of very unique like product or service, right? So maybe for some of you here, you find a certain niche market where, and this is just an example, right? But like say you find like a niche market where your creative solution can really solve a problem. Like maybe you create custom planners or journals that really cater to, you know, specific lifestyles or goals, right? Like for example, maybe you create a planner system for moms, right? Millennial moms, just an example, right? But I'm also feeling like, you're about to like develop something that like stands out if you're drawn to developing like a product or a service. But some other examples here, and remember that this list that I'm like, it's not really a list, but these examples that I'm saying, like, it's not exhaustive. Like there are other things that you can do. I'm just giving you a bunch of different examples. So yeah, just things to play with. It's almost like, you know, when you have to throw spaghetti at a wall and see what sticks. So for some of you here, maybe you offer some sort of like creative workshop or a class. Like maybe you would share your knowledge through offering things like workshops in your area, right? Like art classes or writing workshops or women's circles, right? Or something like that. Maybe you could host some of these things online or locally, kind of depending on your audience. I just really think that you're going to be creating something around your passion, right? So some of you here, maybe you create content around your passion, right? You start a blog, or you start a YouTube channel or a podcast where you share the things that you're interested in, right? Like for example, with my podcast, the That's Deep podcast, and if you're drawn to it, you can definitely check it out. It's in the link in the description. But this podcast, I created it because I have let me rewind. My podcast is all about personal development and spirituality, and I created that podcast as a tool for other people to use when they're going through those periods of introspection and reflection and learning more about themselves, you know, times of self-discovery where you learn more about your natural talents and your gifts, right? Because I was at a point in my life where I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the next career move that I'm going to make? And I remember Googling, like, what job is good for introverts? Because I just found out I was an introvert. And I just went deeper and deeper and deeper. And I was like, wow, there's so many tools available to us that can teach us more about ourselves. And they can help us leverage our skills and really improve our life and our career and our relationships and so much more, right? And our creative projects. So maybe something that you're curious about, you start talking about it, you want to share the things that you learned, right? Like I remember when I first started learning how to read tarot and oracle, I would be so excited about the information that I'd be learning that I'd write it all down, and then I'd share it with my partner, or I would ask him, like, can I do readings for you? And just something that like lights you up, something that's sparking that like creative passion is what I'm feeling. I feel like for some of you here, maybe you get monetized through like ads or sponsorships or affiliate marketing, right? Those are just like, you know, related to content creation. But for some of you here, maybe you want to network with like-minded creatives, right? Like maybe you collaborate with other creative people to host events or co-create products or kind of cross-promote each other's work. Like I've definitely done that before. I've done like podcast interview swaps where like we both interview each other just based on whatever our podcast was about, like our podcast as a whole was about. And then we would cross promote each other and like share to each other's audiences. And it was a really cool way to bridge communities and to obviously, you know, grow audiences too. So yeah, I definitely feel like it's just going to be this time of like connection and collaboration and very much like weaving this strong supportive web. So super duper exciting, pile one. Another thing I feel here for a specific some of you is like building a subscription service. I know that's very random, but for a specific some of you, it's going to make sense. Like creating some sort of monthly subscription box or like some sort of digital service, or maybe you have like an art print of the month, right? Or some sort of like exclusive content access, right? So like maybe you're a YouTuber and you finally set up your channel memberships and people want to get to know the face behind the channel and they want to know like your day-to-day and they want to see vlogs and all sorts of things and hear podcasts, right? Like I'm just thinking that that's maybe another way that you can manifest more money. And I keep hearing like it's going to be a very like beautiful and divine, like equal energy exchange where like I keep hearing like you're giving the people what they want, but you're also going to be massively compensated as well. Another thing that I feel here is maybe even like revamping or repurposing like existing content or products or projects, right? Like, for example, like, I'm also hearing like upcycling too. Like, I don't know if some of you would like take like, for example, like old jeans jackets and like reupholster them, or is that the right word? Or like add patches to them, or like cool little, I don't know, embroidery. Obviously, you know that I'm not an upcycler, but you catch my drift. But we also have Sagittarius here. This one says expand. I love this. We also have 9. So in terms of numerology, 9 talks about cycles. So I definitely think that like you're leaving one cycle behind, pile 1, and then you're moving into a new one. So with this one, I feel like maybe it would be beneficial to invest in some sort of like learning or self-development. Maybe in some sort of like maybe enroll in a course or a workshop that really like improves your skills or your knowledge in whatever field you're in, right? I think that this is some way that you can increase your income. So for example, if you're interested in marketing, right? Maybe you take a course on marketing strategies, right? And Sagittarius, the energy of Sagittarius thrives on knowledge and exploring things, right? So expanding your skill set can directly lead to more financial opportunities. So that would be one example for that. But maybe for some of you here, you want to focus on expanding your network, right? Like we spoke about earlier with the spider and the passion flower. Maybe you attend conferences, you know, in your industry, seminars, networking events, right? You meet up with people online, attend lives, right? Meet new people. And I think that you'll really open up new doors to new income streams. Let's talk about Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion and luck. So I think by expanding your social circle, many of you here are going to come into opportunities for collaborations and partnerships and maybe even new job offers. Like I mentioned before, go ahead and explore new markets, new niches, right? If you have a business, maybe consider exploring new demographics, maybe international markets that you haven't tapped into yet, because Sagittarius is all about exploring the unknown. So think about how you can broaden your customer base, right? Or offer new products or services that really cater to a different audience. Now with this card, I'm also feeling like for some of you here, this could be a sign for you to embrace more travel and adventure. So like, for example, maybe you take a business trip or you explore opportunities in other cities or other countries. I want to say this, maybe for some of you here, you're drawn to astrocartography. I just got my astrocartography chart read, and it tells you about like certain places on, you know, the map or the globe or the planet that you might be energetically drawn to, or places that would be beneficial for you. So maybe get an astrocartography reading, or if you know how to do it, you know, generate your chart. But yeah, Sagittarius loves travel. Sometimes stepping outside of your usual environment can really spark new ideas and opportunities that can lead to your financial gain. So that's super exciting. Another thing with this card too is share your knowledge, pile one, right? So like, for those of you who are interested in, this is an example, right? Like maybe some of you are interested in creating an online course or writing a book or starting a blog where you can share your expertise, right? Sagittarius is the teacher of the zodiac, and by sharing what you know, you can actually create additional streams of income through that content that you're putting out there to teach others. Another thing with this card, I feel like, is to take calculated risks. Consider investments that really do align with your long-term financial goals, right? Maybe some of you are looking into stocks or real estate or a side business. Now remember, I can't recommend any sort of financial decision making on this channel. This video is for entertainment purposes only, right? You have to make your own decisions. But ideas, right? Play with them. Sagittarius energy really encourages us to think big, right? And take these opportunities that will have the potential to pay off, right, significantly in the future. So embrace this expansive and adventurous and optimistic quality of Sagittarius, right? We also have Skunk Spirit here. This one says know your worth. So for some of you here, I'm feeling like some of you need to negotiate your salary or your rates, right? So if, say for example, if you're a job that provides services, then maybe it's time to review what you're being compensated, right? Like reflect on your skills and your experience and the value that you bring. And when negotiating any sort of salary, right, you would confidently ask for what you believe you deserve, right? So this almost starts with like practicing stating your worth clearly to yourself, right? And knowing this and getting clear on it and being very assertive about it and having that evidence to back your contributions, right? You've done your market research. So something like this, I feel like you'd be able to negotiate a higher salary or a pay is what I'm feeling for this pile. I think that this is also a call to invest in yourself, right? Maybe take time to take some courses or some certifications, or, you know, invest in tools that really enhance your skills or make you more valuable in the marketplace. I think that by you improving some sort of skill or expertise, you're going to increase that earning potential, right? So for all of you who are interested in personal development and spirituality, check out my podcast in the description. I promise you won't be disappointed. Another thing here I feel like that I want to say to this pile is to maybe like recognize when opportunities are not worth your time, right? So like don't be afraid to turn down opportunities that don't compensate you fairly, right? And this feels risky because I think sometimes when we're in this survival place, we want to take anything that we can get, right? And sometimes you do have to just do what you have to do. However, this is more about making space for higher paying opportunities that really reflect your worth, right? So say for example, if someone offers you a freelance project at a rate that's like ridiculously too low, right? You could suggest that, hey, like this is the rate that I work at. And if they don't take it, then you can, you know, politely decline, and hopefully there'll be another, you know, divinely aligned person to work with you. That's just one example. For some of you, I totally get it. You're going to say, I'm going to take the client, right? Especially in the economy that we're in right now, right? But it doesn't matter because your power, your skills, your abilities, it will transcend whatever is going on here in whatever's going on in your current reality. You can change that is what I'm trying to say. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so just go ahead and make sure you affirm your worth daily, right? Make sure that you set clear boundaries around your time and your energy. Pile one, yeah, for sure. I feel like make sure that you're not like overworking or undercharging, right? Set your office hours, stick to them. Maybe implement policies that really do require like upfront payment before beginning work. And I feel like this is not only going to make sure that you're compensated fairly, but it also is going to reinforce the idea that your time and your expertise are valuable. Okay? So another thing here, we have meditation to dig deep. So I think that I think this is the pile that would benefit from either having these like daily meditation sessions, right? Like maybe setting aside time each day for deep meditation, right? Like focusing on your breath, calm your mind, right? Maybe some of you want to dive into journaling, right? Maybe you want to journal on any insights or thoughts that come up. Maybe you want to pay attention to any sort of recurring themes or ideas or feelings that come up. Any sort of actionable steps that come to mind. Maybe this could speak to some intuitive goal setting, right? Like first meditating and then asking your inner self, you know, what sort of financial goals resonate with you deeply? What are the things that resonate deeply with your true desires, right? So it's almost about like allowing these goals to surface naturally rather than forcing them, right? So like writing down whatever comes to mind, even if it seems unconventional. So, yeah, but other than that, like manifestation, visualization, right? All those kinds of things. I feel like when you dig deep, when you go inward, when you do the self-exploration, when you dive into like uncovering more about yourself, you're going to find a lot of hidden gems. You may even find out that you are the gem. Now, we also have abundance. This one says great. And we have Sagittarius energy here, which I love, right? I love when the cards confirm themselves. So we do have a lot of expansive energy here, which is awesome. Also, Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is the planet of luck and expansion. So it's perfect when it comes to reading about how you can manifest more money. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of you here, like, and remember, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But for all my witchy folks, maybe you create some sort of like prosperity altar, right? Like you place grapes or some sort of image of grapes and you put it on your altar to symbolize abundance, fertility, wealth. Right? Maybe you use green candles for growth, right? And you use coins and crystals like citrine or pyrite, which I think is super fun because you chose citrine for this reading. So yeah. And then I think that, yeah, maybe just bring in that like Sagittarius energy, right? Add symbols that mean expansion to you. And, you know, whether that's like a world map or a compass or an arrow, right? Like, tap into that energy of having this adventurous spirit and this desire to explore new opportunities. I also feel like vision boarding could be something that could help as well. I remember for a long time I was resistant to doing vision boards. I was like, I don't know, I'm not, like, I am a visual learner, but when it comes to visualizing things, I was having a hard time in that moment in time, like visualizing the abundance that I wanted to manifest. So I was like, oh, I don't want to do vision boards. But I found that vision boarding actually taps into this very intuitive part of you that like your logical brain can't really mess with, right? So I feel like maybe like inundating your environment or the things that you're going to see on a daily basis, right? Like allowing those to be symbols of wealth or prosperity or luxury or abundance, right? It can actually do a lot for your subconscious. And I've learned that over time. So I've like have a vision board and I kind of just like set it behind my computer, and every once in a while I'll glance at it and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like I actually did manifest this like a couple months ago, and I did that last year, and this one's coming up, like, you know, so it's interesting. You can kind of tie all the pieces back together. But yeah, we also have Name That Feeling. So with this card, this one says, do you know what you're feeling? Your emotional landscape is more complex than you realize. You can feel more than one thing at once. You can feel conflicting things simultaneously. It's hard to address the root of your emotions if you can't call them all by name. The anger you're experiencing might also be tinged with grief and fear. The grief and fear may call for different kinds of support. What's there for you? Take a deep breath, lean into your feelings, and try to identify their nuances like a feeling sommelier. Now that you've named your feelings, what do you need to do with that information? Interesting. So I think that this is going to be a time when you start to trust your intuition, when you start to listen to what your emotions and your feelings are communicating to you. I also feel like your emotions or your intuition, it's going to lead you to some sort of like very profitable idea, or like a very profitable creative route is what I'm feeling. So yes, pile 1. Let's also roll some astro dice to get more information on how you can manifest more money. So pile 1, how can pile 1 manifest more money? Okay, so you have, okay, so we have the moon in Aquarius in the 4th house. So with the moon in Aquarius in the 4th house, this can talk a little bit about maybe like blending your emotions and your intuition with kind of like creative and forward thinking, right? Innovative thinking, and having this focus on like your home and your family. So here's just a couple of different examples. And remember, this list is not exhaustive, but one thing I'm thinking is that you can create a financial sanctuary at home, right? So maybe designate some sort of space in your home for financial planning or manifestation rituals, right? Like maybe this is a small area where you keep your financial records, maybe your vision board, you know, maybe an altar for all my witchy folks here. Maybe a journal, right? Maybe you decorate your space with abundance and symbols, right, of abundance, and plants and crystals and artwork that really inspires you. Another thing I'm thinking too, though, with this setup here is some sort of like innovative home-based income stream. So yeah, I think that you're going to be exploring ways to generate an income from home using I think that you're going to explore ways to generate an income from home using some sort of like Aquarian creativity. So I feel like maybe this includes offering some sort of virtual service or monetizing a hobby, right? Like crafting or blogging or tutoring, right? Or maybe you just think about how technology and engaging with your community can increase your efforts or your income, right? Another thing that I feel like is using your intuition, right? Again, to make decisions for your security, right? Making these financial decisions that really do align with your emotional needs, or say like your long-term goals. Another thing here is I feel like you can connect with like your community, maybe whether this be like a local community group or online forum. That's what I'm feeling. I'm also feeling like some of you here might look into ways to like do some sort of like budgeting or saving in like some sort of like tech savvy way. So like using some sort of app or a tool that allows for some sort of like financial management, right? Like a roundup savings app or digital wallets, or, you know, just something. Looking for some sort of way to use technology or some sort of innovation and making it work for you. Another thing here, when I think about the moon, is I think about lunar cycles. So maybe using these lunar cycles for planning, maybe setting intentions for the amount of money you want to manifest during the new moon, and maybe review and reflect on your progress during the full moon. Another thing here too is I feel like there might be some sort of like opportunity in terms of like a family investment or like inheritance planning, right? Maybe some of you here are also thinking, okay, well, like I didn't come from any sort of family money or like family wealth, but I am here to create it for future generations, for my future kids, future grandkids. So maybe you start to consider how you can create wealth that benefits your family and future generations, right? Maybe some of you here make a real estate purchase, or you set up a family trust, or you develop some sort of financial plan that's going to support both you in your immediate future, but then also for your extended family's future as well. So yeah, I hope that was super helpful, pile one. Thank you. Please give this video a like if it resonates. It really does help the channel. Comment below with what pile you chose. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. And take care of yourself. I hope to see you on the next reading after this. Check out my channel, Tidal Tarot. I've got a bunch of different pick a cards from a bunch of different categories: money, career, relationships, love, manifestation, all of the fun things. So check it out, and then if not this time, I'll see you next time. Bye, pile one. Hey, pile two, welcome to your reading. Now let's dive in. Okay, so pile two, first card that you have here is the Hanged Man. You also have the Seven of Wands. You have the Turtle and Coriander, Satisfaction. We also have Gemini, Cross-Pollinate. And then we also have Sandpiper Spirit. This one says be playful. And then we also have Meditation for Creativity. You also have Success. This one says Peppermint. And then you also have Lead the Way. Okay, so pile two. Let's start off with the tarot cards. So we have the Hanged Man, and then we have the Seven of Wands. So the Hanged Man, in terms of the question, how can I manifest more money? The Hanged Man talks about a surrender in shift and perspective, right? So this card probably suggests that in order for you to manifest more money, you need to let go of old beliefs or approaches regarding your finances, right? So this card is really encouraging you to look at your financial situation from a new angle or a new perspective, right? Like he's hanging in a different perspective, and he is just trying to see, and you can see that he, like, although he looks like he's locked here, he's like trapped here, he's not. He holds the key. So it's about surrendering, right? It's about instead of forcing outcomes, it is about surrendering to the process and trusting that the universe has a plan for you. Now, this card can also talk about things like patience and reflection. So maybe this is your sign to take time to reflect on your current financial habits. You know, are there any areas where you might need to maybe sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term gains, right? Because this period of contemplation is going to lead you to breakthroughs that you maybe haven't considered before, right? Because you're seeing things from a different perspective. Now, we also have the Seven of Wands here. So with this one, I feel like you can manifest more money by like standing up for yourself, standing up for your position, right? So while you're surrendering and reflecting, right, you also have to stand firm in your beliefs and your efforts, right? Because this is the card that's about defending your position and, you know, not giving up when any sort of challenges arise, right? So this is about having persistence and courage. Maybe manifesting money requires not just a change in perspective, but also persistence, right? So when you're facing some sort of obstacle or competition, it's this sign to like continue to go forward with these goals, right? Because this is the card that reminds us to remain steadfast and protect what we've already achieved, right? Like it's almost like you're, after you like pause, reflect, surrender, take a shift in perspective, I feel like you're going to be in this like elevated position, right? Like you're going to achieve this victory. And sometimes when you've made it to a higher level, like, and you're more visible, it can draw a crowd, right? And with a crowd, sometimes there's opinions and all sorts of other things and people trying to tell you what to do. But this is about you having boundaries, standing up for yourself, defending what you believe in, right? Defending what you're passionate about. So yeah, I don't know, even like some of you, I wonder if seeing things from a different perspective and like defending or sticking up for someone, I wonder if you could manifest more money by getting into law or being a lawyer or a litigator. For some of you, that's just a very specific message for some of you is what I'm hearing. But These cards together, though, I feel like it's all about changing your mindset, right? So start by reassessing your beliefs about money. You know, are there any sort of limiting beliefs that need to be released? Because the Hangman really invites us to see money in a new light, right? Like maybe adopting a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, for example. Another thing that you can do with these two cards is maybe like once you've shifted your perspective, you can use the energy of the Seven of Wands to take action, right? So be strategic and proactive in seeking out opportunities, but also be ready to stand your ground when you're faced with any sort of challenges, right? And I think this is also important to stay committed to your financial goals, even when they seem slow, right? Because the combination of these two cards, I really feel like it's suggesting that while it's important to have patience and a new perspective, it's also important to have that determination to overcome any sort of hurdles that come along the way, right? And I think that it's funny because we have the turtle and the coriander here, and I always think about the tortoise and the hare, right? Slow and steady wins the race, right? It's not about like rushing through and making things happen super quick. It's about the journey and the long-term goal and the bigger picture. So yeah, with the turtle and the coriander here, I feel like one thing that you can do is do some sort of gratitude practice. Like maybe create some sort of daily habit that you list things that you're grateful for, right? Like especially related to your financial situation. So maybe you acknowledge the satisfaction that you already feel with what you have, which will help you to attract more abundance, right? So for example, maybe you write down 3 things you're thankful for every morning, including aspects of your financial life, right? So number 1, I'm so grateful that I have a full tank of gas today and I'm able to afford to be able to drive from home to work today. I'm so grateful and fortunate to have enough money to eat a meal today, right? I'm so happy and grateful that I have enough money to send my kid to soccer or send my kid to tap dance, right? Something like that. I'm just throwing things out. I also like to use gratitude, like a gratitude, what do you call it? Like a scripting, gratitude scripting. So like I'll open up my journal and I'll write down like, I'm so happy and grateful that, and I start listing all the things that I want to manifest, but I write it down in future tense as if it's already happened. So like, say I want to manifest a car, then I'm like, okay, I am so happy and grateful that I got my new black G-Wagon that has the shiny silver rims, and I'm so grateful that I get to use this car to pick my kids up from school, and I'm so grateful that I get to use this car to go to work, and I'm so grateful that I get to pick up all my homegirls in the car and we get to go to brunch. Like, you know, just start listing out things as if they've already happened. Start embodying and feeling into that energy. It's almost like acting as if, right? Or nowadays online we call it like being Delulu, right? Like I don't know if it's like fake it till you make it, but gratitude is very interesting. It's a very cool tool, and you'd be surprised at how quickly things manifest when you do a gratitude practice for those who aren't already doing one. Now, another thing with this card I feel is you can make more money by maybe visualizing your abundance, right? So spend a few minutes each day visualizing yourself achieving your financial goals and feeling satisfied, right? Maybe imagine yourself living comfortably and experiencing the joy and the peace that financial stability brings. And I think by visualizing this satisfaction, it can really help you to manifest this into reality. So I also think that another helpful thing would be to like use affirmations, right? So like, I am grateful for abundance in my life, or I attract financial abundance with ease, or every day I am becoming more and more satisfied with my financial situation, right? Like just a couple different things. But another thing you can do is maybe budget and have a savings plan. So maybe create a savings plan that really aligns with what you need to feel okay and content, right? I also think another thing here is to celebrate small wins, right? Slow and steady wins the race. I also feel like it's another call to like, for those of you who are looking to pamper yourself, like pamper yourself wisely, right? Like you can invest in small pleasures that really bring you satisfaction without straining your budget. So for example, maybe you treat yourself to like a nice meal at home or doing a hobby that makes you feel good. But I feel like having this balance will help you appreciate what you have while also manifesting more abundance without breaking the bank, right? Or like, I'm trying to think, for me, I really love a good like acai bowl, like loaded with like the bananas and the I really do like chocolate chips in there too, but I like chia seeds, and I like actually not chia seeds in my acai. I like goji, is it goji berry? Yeah, I think so. Goji berry, granola. Like, I like acai bowls, right? And to me, they're a little bit more of an indulgence, right? Because it's like $12 for an acai bowl, which is also, and I tell myself, like, that's a dinner plate, like. But once in a blue moon, right, I will make sure that I treat myself to like a sweet little treat, because A, it's not going to break my bank, $12. B, I have to reward myself when I've taken some sort of action or when I've done the work that I need to do, right? Like, we have to also show ourselves that when we give, we can receive. So, yes. Another thing too I'm feeling here is like, share your abundance, you know, find ways to give back and share with others. I think that this is definitely going to enhance this sense of satisfaction, and it's going to attract more abundance. So maybe little acts of little acts of kindness, or charitable donations, or maybe supporting your friends and family. We also have Gemini here. This one says cross-pollinate. We do have the number 3 here. So in terms of numerology, 3 has everything to do with the divine, with communication. I think that's really cool too, because Gemini is all about communication, the mind, the intellect, expression. So very exciting. But in terms of how you can manifest more money with a card of Gemini here, one thing I think you can do is to network, right? So reach out to your professional and your personal network, maybe explore new opportunities. You could do things like maybe attending events in your industry, or webinars, or social gatherings. I think it's a really good time to start engaging in conversations and sharing your goals with others, right? Because cross-pollination can only occur when you connect with people who are diverse, right? And might offer some sort of valuable opportunity or insight that maybe you haven't thought of. Or maybe this is like a talent or skill that like somebody else could bring to the table. It's also a call to collaborate, right? Partner with other people on projects or business ventures. Really combine those skills and ideas with other people. And I think that you'll find that you'll come up with like new creative solutions, and you'll potentially discover new revenue streams, right? So for instance, if you are a content creator, say you make YouTube videos, right? It could be an idea to collaborate with other creators or business joint ventures for joint ventures, sponsored content, or just a way to cross promote, right? So, and by the way, if any of you guys have a favorite tarot reader that you would like me to collaborate with, drop that tarot reader's name in the comments. I'm always curious. Like, for a long time, I've been looking for the right fit, right? Or like divinely aligned people to collaborate with on YouTube. And so for those of you who have other tarot readers or other astrology readers that you feel would be a good collaboration for me, drop it in the comments, because I'm always curious. Another thing that I think you can do with Gemini to manifest more money is to maybe diversify your sources of income, right? So look for ways to diversify these income streams, like explore a side hustle, right? Open up an Etsy shop, freelance work, maybe having passive income opportunities, right? Because with Gemini, I feel like you can mix different approaches, and this will ultimately lead to your growth and increased earnings. So yeah, I'm also feeling like social media is a big thing with this card. Like, maybe you use social media platforms to share your expertise, or to promote your services, or to engage with your audience, right? Maybe this is for some of you out there who want to engage, who want to create content that really engages things like interaction, and it really builds your online presence. This is going to lead you to new opportunities, and it's also going to increase your visibility for potential revenue online. So now another thing here is, I feel like you could offer maybe like a workshop or like a webinar, or maybe like a masterclass. I feel like this is my pile that could really benefit from either like sharing your knowledge or your skills. And I think that this will also like position you as an expert. It'll also open up potential revenue from attendees that will come to you for insights or training. Now, I also feel, so we also have Sandpiper Spirit here. This one says, be playful. So I think maybe for this one, you can start exploring some creative income streams, right? So like, for example, if you love crafting, you can start an Etsy shop, and maybe you can start selling your handmade items. If you love writing, maybe consider creating a blog or an ebook on a topic that you're passionate about. I keep hearing like turning savings into a game, right? So like turn saving money into like a playful challenge. Like create a savings game where you set small achievable goals and then reward yourself when you reach them. So for example, say for every $100 you save, you treat yourself to a small enjoyable activity like a movie night, right? Or a nice dinner. I also feel like this is, when I see like the sandpiper here, I know that they're light on their feet. So maybe for some of you here, like you embrace a little bit more of like lighthearted marketing, right? So like say if you run a business, right, or a side hustle, maybe you infuse your marketing with this very playful and engaging tone, right? So maybe you're creating content or promotion that really captures attention and brings smiles to people's faces, right? Or makes them feel something, right? And I think that this is going to increase your engagement and overall your money. So yes. We also have meditation for creativity. So with this one, I feel like there's so many different things that you can do here to manifest more money. Maybe a practice for this is to do things that get you into this meditative state where you can start creating and tapping into your intuition and tapping into more of that right-brained side. So maybe for some of you here, you could create a vision board, right? Like maybe you meditate on your financial goals and you can visualize the things that you want to bring into your life, right? So you bring in like images and words and symbols that really do represent the lifestyle and the feeling and the, you know, the money that you want to manifest, or the creative projects or the ideas that you want to put out into the world, right? Maybe some of you here, you start making affirmations around your creativity, right? Like my creative ideas, they flow effortlessly and they attract financial prosperity, right? Or I am abundant and I am successful through all of my creative expressions, right? Like just make your own, make what suits you. Another thing here is that's really important in the manifestation process is to set intentions, right? Like, and I remember when I was first learning how to manifest, I mean, and we're constantly manifesting. I just want to let you know that, like, whether you're actively trying to manifest or not, you're manifesting. That's our normal state as human beings. And I think that it's really important to set intentions and be really clear, make them simple too, on what you want to manifest. Because like for me, for a while, I was just like, I just want more money. Okay, what does more money mean? An extra dollar? Like, yeah, the universe will give you an extra dollar. What do you need, right? Like, okay, you can be really explicit, and sometimes it makes it can be challenging to ask for like a specific amount of money, right? But you can ask the universe to lead you to your next $5,000 or lead you to your next $3,000, and trust that when that divine guidance comes in to take that action step on your part, like trust that it'll come in divine timing too, right? It's like this process of like taking action, stepping back and trusting, taking action, stepping back and trusting, and then like eventually fully stepping back and just trusting. I think that also this is the pile that could benefit from connecting with like a mentor or a muse, right? Like seek guidance on, like I think this could be important for you to receive some advice or support. We also have the success card. This one says peppermint, and we have Libra energy here. And then you have a key. I love this. Okay, so like you have a key here. You also have another key here. I'm gonna bring it up closer because sometimes it's hard to see from far away, but let's see. So I want to show you. Bring it up super close. Okay, so you see how he has like a little key in his hands? So he has a key there, but then this card, there's also a key here. So this tells me that you definitely do have the key to your success. Like you have the key to manifest the financial abundance that you want to. You have the keys to your success. You have the key to manifest the abundance that you're looking for. So the sign of Libra here, it talks about things like balance and harmony and fairness. So I feel like maybe you're gonna make sure that like your income or your expenses or your savings or your investments are all in harmony. Maybe you tap into the energy of balance by, again, like setting up a budget or allocating a specific percentage of your income to salary or investments, or maybe like discretionary spending, right? Libra is all about networking and partnerships too. So maybe one way you can manifest more money is to go to more industry events like I mentioned before, or join professional groups or boards, or really collaborate with other people on things that could lead to income generating opportunities, right? So I feel like the relationships that you build could open doors to new revenue streams. When I think about Libra, I also think about like beauty, aesthetics, maybe like attractive presentation and marketing. So yeah, because Libra is ruled by Venus, right? It's the planet of beauty and attraction. So maybe you're going to use this energy to present your work or products or services in a very appealing way, right? A very attractive way. So I'm thinking like high quality branding, design, maybe packaging your business. I think this is about like creating some sort of aesthetically pleasing content for social media or your website that really draws in potential clients and customers, right? So peppermint is associated with things like mental clarity and focus and success. So maybe before you work on financial tasks, maybe you diffuse peppermint oil in your workspace, or you drink peppermint tea to clear your mind and to really sharpen your focus. I think it's pretty funny. I actually just loaded up my diffuser with a bunch of peppermint essential oil before we started your reading. So yes, and also remember, yeah, peppermint, use it for success. We also have Lead the Way. This one says, you're learning how to move beyond small talk with yourself. Now you get to do the same with others. There's a sense of safety in small talk, so you'll have to guide things deeper. Model the community and conversations you want to have. Ask open-ended questions and be willing to answer first. Listen deeply, let yourself be vulnerable when it feels right. Ask follow-up questions, offer words of encouragement and acknowledgement. Your words and actions give others permission to bring their whole self to the conversation. I love this. This is about getting deeper. Allowing others to share what they've discovered about themselves. Maybe some of you can consult with others, do coaching, therapy, counseling. Maybe just being a support to others in general is what I'm feeling here. Let's get more information. Let's roll this astro dice and get more information on how you can manifest more money, pile 2. Okay, so we have the moon in Capricorn. The moon in Capricorn in the first house. So I feel like manifesting more money with the moon in Capricorn in the first house really does involve using your emotions and your instincts, right? The moon in a very disciplined and practical and structured way, Capricorn, while also focusing on how you present yourself and initiate your actions, the first house, right? So I think that some specific ideas for you is that maybe you can set up some sort of I would say that there's some sort of way that you can maybe like enhance your public image, right? The first house is all about self-presentation. So maybe you work on your personal brand, right? Like maybe you update your LinkedIn profile, you network with professionals in your field, or maybe you create a website that really does highlight your skills and achievements. I think this is what's going to help you to attract a little bit more lucrative opportunities. Another thing here is maybe you can practice more self-care, right? Because the moon governs our emotions, and the first house, it relates to the self. So maybe this is a call to make sure that you're emotionally balanced. Maybe it's a call to engage in activities that really do nurture your well-being, like meditation or exercise. I just think that you having this emotionally healthy state can lead you to better decision-making and overall a more positive approach to wealth building. I think that this is also a time where you can capitalize on opportunities for leadership, right? The first house is all about how you take initiative. So maybe this is a sign for you to look for leadership roles or opportunities where you can take charge, whether this is at work or in a side hustle. I just think that this could lead you to higher earnings and increased financial stability. Thank you so much, Pile 2. Please give this video a big thumbs up if it resonates. It really does help the channel. Comment below with what pile you chose. I really like to talk with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Take care of yourself. I do hope to see you on the next reading after this. I have a playlist on my channel, Tidal Tarot, so check out my channel playlist, and I have a bunch of different pick a cards on topics ranging from money, love, career, manifestation, personal development, spirituality, all of the fun things. So thank you, Pile 2. I will see you next time. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Now let's dive in. Okay, so pile 3. The first card that you have here is the High Priestess. You have the High Priestess, but you have it in the reverse position. You also have the Six of Materials. This is the Six of Pentacles. You also have the Hound and Pair. This one says Loyalty. You also have Uranus. This one says Change. And then we have Electric Eel Spirit, Bring Your Ideas to Life. And then you also have Ground and Center. And then you also have Trust. This one says Basil. And then you also have a Get Grounded card. This one says Examine Your Gut. So let's start off with the High Priestess and the Six of Materials here. So when the High Priestess is in reverse, it might talk about like a disconnect with your intuition. So I don't know if there's some sort of like inner voice or a certain feeling about your next steps. Like, trust that feeling, right? Like, to manifest more money, I think it's going to be really important for you to reconnect with your intuition, right? So meditate, journal, spend time in quiet reflection, right? Let things trickle up to the surface. And I think this could be a good time for you to focus on identifying any sort of subconscious blocks or fears that are related to money that might be holding you back, right? I also think that with the Six of Materials here, which is the Six of Pentacles, this talks about things like generosity and balance and being in the flow of giving and receiving. So I think that in order for you to manifest more money, you can tap into this energy by practicing generosity, right? So this doesn't necessarily mean giving away all of your money, but rather sharing your time and your knowledge and your resources, right? The act of giving, when it's done from the heart, it can really create this very positive flow of abundance, right? So this card could probably talk about maybe you being on the receiving end of help or opportunities from other people, you know what I mean? So with these two cards together, I feel like it's time for you to align your intentions, right? Take the time to clarify whatever financial goals or dreams or aspirations that you have, write them down, right? Get really clear on what this financial abundance looks like to you, right? It feels like to you. Does financial abundance, because it's so ambiguous and it's such a big, broad term that like, yeah, I just want to manifest more money. It's like very broad. But if you get very specific and you're like, I need to have enough money to cover bills and have my kids' extracurriculars paid in full and on time and with ease. I need money to fill my gas with no issues. I need money to be able to travel because I travel for work. I need money to be able to have fun because I need to be able to fill my cup because I give so much. Well, not because, but because you're worth it, right? I was gonna say you give so much to others too, but when I'm thinking about the Six of Pentacles, it's like giving and receiving generosity. So I do think that maybe this is a good time for you to engage in acts of generosity, right? Like whether you start investing some time in donating or doing things that are charitable, right? Or helping friends or sharing knowledge, right? But also being receptive to support and, you know, other people wanting to help you too. I think that I'm feeling like for some of you in this pile, maybe you've been like feeling like you've been all alone, right? Like you're out in the cold and you have to do this all on your own. And I feel like the message with these cards here is that you don't have to do this by yourself. You are very much supported. There are people who want to support this change within you. So you need to be able to trust, right? Trust that these magnificent ideas and this new abundance that you're trying to create is going to flow into your life when you get clear, when you trust yourself, right? So many different things here. I'm also feeling like with these two cards here, I feel like it could be time to clear any sort of intuitive blocks, right? So work on playing with your intuition more, strengthen it, right? Pay attention to your dreams. Acknowledge when your intuition is spot on, right? When you have intuited or kind of like gotten an insight that was accurate. Take note of those things, right? Because these are the things that are going to strengthen your intuition. Take note of any sort of subtle signs that are guiding you towards better financial opportunities, right? Because I do think that with these cards, you can really create this balanced approach to manifesting more money. One that's going to honor both your internal wisdom, right? What your gut's been telling you, and then the practical steps that you need to take in the world, because the pentacles or the materials is all about the practical and the practical steps that need to be taken. We also have the Hound and the Pair. This one says loyalty. So I feel like for those of you who are already, like, you already have clients or customers or something like that, maybe you offer some sort of like exclusive deal to these loyal clients, right? So maybe you create special promotions or discounts for your most loyal customers, right? Or maybe you encourage something to repeat business, right? Or you do something to lead to some sort of steady stream of income. Like, for example, I see one of my favorite examples of this is this gal on TikTok. She does so she has like a metaphysical shop, and she does e-commerce. She also has one in person too. And every Friday she does a live stream sale where she invites, you know, her community, her customers, new people to come into her space and join her live. And she invites people to purchase, well, it's deeper than that, right? She's been kind of planting the seeds with all of her pieces of content throughout the days and the weeks and all that. But every Friday she has a live stream where people will purchase some sort of like mystery box or like a live gift to be opened on live, right? And it brings this excitement and this anticipation, and it brings a lot of business in, right? And she's able to open up these packages that people purchase and show the products, right? So she's like, for example, she's like, okay, like Christina, for example, I'm just saying random names. Christina, okay, you bought, or thank you for your purchase today. Today we're unboxing, and oh, you've got a, you know, a moss agate sphere. This is really good for manifesting more money, more opportunities, grounding yourself, you know, all the, you know. And then basically what I'm trying to say is, like, other people who may have never seen your brand before, they might come to your brand and be like, oh my god, I want a crystal to be opened on live. Like, you know, or it's also, what I'm trying to say is that was a genius way for her to show her products, show people actually purchasing the products, because part of kind of like building a loyal clientele, or like part of building a client base, is through testimonials, right? Or other people want to know, like, hey, are you satisfied with whatever you purchased from this place? Or hey, are you satisfied with the service that this person has provided me with, right? You want to know that what you're investing your money in, or your time in, or your energy in is worth it. So by this girl going live every single Friday and doing these live sales, it shows like, trust, know factor, right? She's showing her products. There's incentive. She offers like little giveaways and discounts. So anyway, I digress. I just wanted to give like one specific example. Another thing for those of you who have a client base, or, you know, a following, or, you know, a community, maybe setting like personalized follow-ups, right? Setting personalized thank you notes or follow-up emails after a transaction to show appreciation, right? And I think that this gesture, even if it seems small, can really, like, I feel like it's going to deepen your existing connections. It'll lead you to referrals or long-term business relationships. I just think there's a way to like tap into your own genius around this. Another thing here is, I feel like it's time for you to build that community if you haven't done so already, right? So partner with other people who are like-minded, right? Collaborate with businesses or friends or people who share your values of loyalty and trust, right? Because by working together, you can actually expand your reach and attract more clients. I think that this can also increase your revenue. So I feel like by working together, you can definitely expand your reach and either like attract more clients or increase your revenue through some sort of like joint venture, or through some sort of like cross promotion. Another thing here too, I feel like it would be really important to engage in more community building, you know, whether that's like a local workshop, an online forum, you know, things like that. I think that this can offer you some financial opportunities. We also have Uranus. This one says change. So with this card, I feel like maybe you could consider investing in some sort of like cutting edge technology, right? Like maybe you look into AI or renewable energy or some sort of like new tech, right? Because Uranus governs things like innovation. So aligning your finances with things like futuristic trends, maybe that might open some doors for you. Maybe even if like some of you are into stocks or EFTs or startups or those types of things, just keep an eye on trends that maybe people might overlook. Another thing that I feel here for this pile could be like freelancing or remote work. So if you're in a, okay, this is an example. If you're in a traditional job, maybe you could explore the possibility of freelancing or working remotely in a field that really does excite you, right? Because this is the kind of shift that can lead to maybe unexpected income streams or greater financial independence, right? So this is just one specific example. And like, you know, I feel like some of you out there might be like, well, how do I do this? And it's like, okay, for that specific example, you could go on Upwork, right? Use a platform like Upwork or Fiverr or LinkedIn to find any sort of opportunities that really align with your skills, and be open to roles that really might be more unconventional or outside of your usual expertise. I've seen a lot of people throwing Uber into their wheelhouse when it comes to another income stream. You know what I mean? Uber, Turo, all those kinds of things, right? Like maybe DoorDash, maybe there's a way that you can get some extra cash injections in your life. I also feel like this is a chance for you to innovate in your current business or your career. So maybe if you're like, girl, I'm in a 9-to-5, I like it, I like the security. Maybe for some of you here, like you introduce new or unconventional ideas, maybe some technologies into your business or your workplace. I don't know if like some of you here will be involved in creating things that can automate tasks, or something like offering a very unique service, like being a resume writer, right? Or somebody who checks resumes and spruces it up, right? Creating some sort of product or service that really fills this niche market, right? So it's almost like identifying like where your industry is lacking change or innovation. So like experimenting with new tools or software or marketing strategies that other people might be hesitant to try, right? Another thing here is you can network with unconventional thinkers. So maybe you find that you want to surround yourself with people who actually challenge the status quo. And these are people who inspire you to think differently, right? So I do think that this can lead to new opportunities and collaborations that can really enhance your financial opportunities, right? So maybe you attend events or webinars, right? Again, join online communities, something in a place, or so go to the places where the innovators and the disruptors gather, right? Engage with people who are exploring these new frontiers and really trailblazing these new places in business and finance, right? Like I mentioned before, again, with this passive income streams, you know, maybe something unconventional, like making a digital product, a course, an ebook, an app that aligns with your expertise. You know, you can use things like Teachable or Thinkific if you want to like put a course out there. I've definitely done that before. I also want to say, like, be open to unexpected opportunities, right? So Uranus, it can bring us unexpected change. So maybe like sudden unexpected opportunities that maybe they seem risky or they're a little out of your comfort zone. These things could potentially come your way and they could, you know, be a surprise to you. And I think that being adaptable can actually lead you to more financial, you know, income and growth and windfalls. So yeah. Of course, remember, I mentioned this earlier in the reading. This is just for entertainment purposes. Please use your own judgment for any sort of financial decision making. This is all just for fun. Yes. Okay. So we also have the electric eel spirit. This one says, bring your ideas to life. So again, I think this is like start a side hustle, right? If you have some sort of unique idea or passion project, now is that time to go ahead and bring it to life, pile 3. Right? So if you've always wanted to create some sort of handmade product, launch an Etsy shop, right? I used to run my crystal shop on Etsy too, before I actually just got my own website. For those of you who are interested, go ahead and check out modernmusecrystals.com. I've got all the crystals that you see here today, as well as crystal jewelry and then non-crystal jewelry as well as everyday essentials, self-care items, all feel-good things. But yeah, I just feel like the key here is to take that spark of inspiration and then turn it into money-making venture, right? Maybe for some of you here, you monetize your skills online, right? So maybe you have a certain expertise in a particular area, like writing or graphic design or social media management, right? And maybe you consider offering your services on some sort of freelancing platform, right? Like Fiverr, Upwork, or teaching your courses online on Teachable or Thinkific, you know? And there's probably other platforms. I'm just stating the ones that I know. Another thing here could be maybe like crowdfunding for some of you. Like maybe you have a big idea, but you need some funding to get started. So like maybe you go on Kickstarter or like Indiegogo or, you know, those types of things where you can present your ideas and, you know, presenting your ideas compellingly and then attract people who will back and believe in your vision, right? So I've seen a lot of people do crowdfunding for like creating their own Oracle deck or their own tarot deck, right? I'm really feeling though, like with this energy here, Uranus, electric eel, I really feel, and especially like this loyalty, I feel like this is my pile that's going to benefit from leveraging social media. So definitely use social media platforms to bring attention to your ideas, whether you're starting a YouTube channel or a podcast or an Instagram account. It's definitely important to share your creative insights because this can actually attract an audience and, you know, more monetization opportunities, right? Again, collaborate with other people who are like-minded, who are like you at heart. And I think that collaborating with other people can actually amplify your ideas, and it can create more opportunities through joint ventures or, you know, co-authored projects or shared businesses. So that's all super exciting. Yeah, I think that some of you in this pile, like, I don't know if you're like commissions, influencer money, like that kind of stuff is what I'm feeling. Also too, the Six of Pentacles, like giving, receiving. So yeah. I also feel like some of you here, you've been knowing that you've been meant to do things like this, but maybe you've been doubting your intuition. So just want to make that message clear for a specific some of you. We also have the ground and center card here. So I think that this is just a reminder that it's really important with all of these ideas and all of this energy and all of this change and all of this forward movement. We need to remember to stay grounded, right? And stay centered, because this is how we actually bring these ideas and these manifestations into the physical, right? Into the 3D realm. So maybe each morning you do a daily grounding meditation, right? Or maybe you do some sort of financial planning ritual where you set aside time each week to look over your finances. Maybe you light a candle, you sit back, you create a very calming environment, you got your essential oils going, right? And maybe you go through your income and your expenses, and you just focus on feeling grounded and in control, right? And maybe this ritual will help you to stay centered and really make clear decisions and maybe even attract more financial stability. I think this is all about creating a sacred space for yourself. I also think that this is you allowing your energy to move through physical activity, right? So doing some sort of physical activity that allows you to be grounded and centered, like yoga, right? Or Tai Chi, or walking barefoot on the earth, you know, things like that. Even maybe doing like affirmations, like I am grounded, I am secure, financial abundance comes to me with ease, right? Those kinds of things. And repeat these, especially when you feel unbalanced or anxious about money, right? Like say them when you're standing firmly with your feet on the ground so that you can enhance that grounding effect. Another thing that I'm really feeling here is like, this is the pile that's going to benefit from spending time outdoors. I don't care if it's just for 5 minutes a day. This is my pile that needs to get outdoors. This is where you would ground your energy. I want to say that this is the pile that's like extremely, I feel like your crown chakra is like very strong, like you're very, very intuitive, your third eye as well. And sometimes when we're in the upper chakra so much, we can feel ungrounded. So it's important. Ground, center, and that's when the clarity comes in, right? So spend time in nature, walk in a forest, sit by a river, right? Just stand outside. For some of you who say, okay, I live in a very urban place, I don't have nature outside. Can you open your window and allow that fresh air to come in, right? Can you, I don't know, even if it's like when you're driving down the street, can you crack your window just a little bit as you're driving? Let some sort of fresh air come in. Let some sort of nature reintroduce itself into your life, you know? We also have trust and basil, Scorpio energy here. So with this one, I feel like, again, it's almost like maybe trusting in your abilities, not doubting yourself, not doubting your ideas, not doubting the messages that you're here to share. I also feel like maybe you're here to share Scorpio inspired work, right? Because Scorpio energy is really good for diving deep into your psyche, right? Diving into any sort of fears around money that might be holding you back, right? And so I think that by you facing these issues head on, and of course do this with support, with a professional, you know, someone who's trained in this realm, because when you face these things head on, you will go ahead and transform your financial reality, but go ahead and take it slow is what I'm feeling. I also feel like for some of you, manifestation through water rituals might be a thing that would be really like beneficial for your manifestation practice. So like you take a ritual bath and you put basil leaves in there, right? And you soak and you visualize the water like soaking away any sort of financial doubt, and you trust in your ability to attract wealth, right? Or you know, you work with other things, Epsom salt, you take a bath, right? Whatever. I also feel like, again, just trust your intuition. I also want to say, like, embrace change and release control. Let go of the need to control outcomes. Scorpio really does teach us about the power of transformation and rebirth. So this is about trusting that even if your financial situation seems uncertain, it's evolving in your favor, right? So practice letting go of any sort of rigidity and allow things, positive financial opportunities to unfold for you naturally as well, right? Embrace this financial transformation, right? So yes, we also have examine your gut. I love that we're talking about like, you know, trust, examine your gut, trust your gut, intuition, it all ties in. But this one says your gut, your heart, your intuition, whatever you call it, call it whatever you like. Just make sure that you're checking in with it. Get to know the feeling of your gut trying to speak up. Become aware of the sensations that signal a need to pause and listen. There's grounding wisdom waiting for you. Your heart may not have all the answers, but it will lovingly guide you back into conversation with yourself. What message is waiting for you today? What's your gut telling you, pile 3? Okay. So the next thing I want to do here is I would love to roll some astro dice to find out how we can manifest more money for pile 3. Okay, so we have Venus in Pisces in the second house. I feel like manifesting more money with the theme of Venus and Pisces in the second house really does combine this energy of love and beauty and, you know, creativity and spiritual abundance, and having this focus on things like material wealth and self-worth and our values, right? So I think overall you are going to be cultivating this very loving relationship with money, right? So you're going to cultivate a loving relationship with money. I think that maybe this is really important for you to use some sort of creative visualization, right? Imagine money flowing to you with ease in a gentle way, right? Reflecting that very Piscean energy of like dreams and imagination, right? See how this money is going to enhance your life in more beautiful and meaningful ways. I also feel like for some of you here, this could be a sign for those of you who are interested in like more artistic work or more spiritual work. Venus in Pisces is very creative and spiritual, so maybe some of you consider monetizing some sort of hobby or a spiritual practice. Maybe you could sell art or music or handmade items or offer services like tarot readings, right? Or spiritual coaching or energy healing. Maybe you start a pick a card channel just like this, right? Maybe you have one already. Maybe you create a vision board, right? You fill it with all of the abundance and the wealth and the good vibes, the Venusian, Piscean vibes, right? Ocean, art, music, symbols of love and beauty, those things. I also feel like maybe this is the pile that would do well with creating some sort of money manifestation ritual. So again, use that element of water, right? Like maybe you fill a bath with rose petals and a candle, and you speak affirmations of abundance to yourself, and you symbolize and you allow the water to symbolize the flow of money into your life, right? Let it shower all over you. So another thing here too is I feel like it's time for this pile to embrace luxury in your everyday life. So I know that this sounds like almost counterintuitive when you feel like you don't have a lot of money, but like treat yourself to small luxuries that make you feel abundant, right? Like maybe a beautiful piece of, like, I don't know, it could be really simple, like a beautiful for example, like I would go and like buy crystals. Like I would be like, okay, like set aside a little bit of money, like, you know, $10, and I'll buy a crystal. And it made me feel like, you know, like I tapped into more of that energy of abundance, because I love to decorate my space with crystals. They're really pretty, but also they, you know, hold different frequencies as well. So yeah, maybe you buy yourself some flowers, right? Some fresh flowers, or, you know, you treat yourself to like your favorite pasta on the way home from work. You know, you get your favorite takeout. I just think it's about tapping into that energy more often, you know? So yes, I really do hope that this all helped, pile 3. Thank you so much. Please give this video a big thumbs up if it resonates. It really does help the channel. Comment below with what pile you chose. I love to chat with you all in the comments. I love to see how this all resonates. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Take care of yourself. I do hope to see you on the next reading right after this. Check out my channel, Tidal Tarot, and check out the playlist of pick a cards. I have so many different ones on money, career, love, manifestation, self-growth, all of these different things. So thank you so much. If you don't check it out now, I'll see you next time. Bye, pile 3. Hey, pile 4. Welcome to your reading. Now let's dive in. Okay, so pile 4. The first card that you have here is the Knight of Swords in reverse. You also have the Hanged Woman or the Hanged Man in reverse. You also have the Horse in Bluebell. This one says Modest Fortitude. And then you also have Sun. This one says Source. You also have Turtle Spirit. This one says Slow and Steady Wins the Race. You have Cleansing Body and Spirit. And then you also have Luck. This one says Lime. And then you also have Notice Your Instinct. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Hanged Woman or the Hanged Man in reverse. So with the Knight of Swords here in reverse, this card can often talk about things like maybe like impulsiveness or making some rash decisions, or maybe like your energy feels a little bit scattered. And so to manifest money, maybe it's a sign to slow down and focus, right? Maybe avoid making hasty financial decisions or jumping into opportunities without taking time to consider it, right? So this is a call to like maybe channel this energy into more disciplined action, right? Like slow down, set really clear financial goals, right? So that could be like, I would like to manifest $5,000 next month. That's a clear financial goal. It is specific, it is measurable. With the Hanged Woman in reverse here, I feel like maybe some of you in this pile have been feeling some sort of like resistance to change, or like maybe a feeling of being stuck. And so I feel like in order for you to manifest more money, it's going to be really crucial for you to shift your perspective, right? So if you've been holding on to any sort of old beliefs or old habits that are maybe preventing this growth, maybe you consider like what you need to let go of, right? Or what you need to look at differently in order to allow abundance to flow, right? So I think this card can remind us to release any sort of rigidity or stubbornness and really open yourself up to the energy of openness to new ways, new ideas, new methods that could bring new financial results, right? Now, I do think that with these cards together, this is a sign to reflect and plan, right? Take time to reflect on whatever your current financial situation is and then plan your next steps very carefully, right? So avoid impulsive decisions. Like, I remember when I first became self-employed, there was a lot of like talk online of like, I don't know, there's just a lot of like big marketing gimmicks, and it was like, you know, become a money-making coach and make your first 5K with me. And it's like, you know, there was a lot of stress, and there was a lot of like emphasis on like, leave your 9 to 5 and jump into this. And it's not about that, right? Of course, if you want to do that, like, then that's in your destiny, but it's like, it's not really about like, okay, let's just say it this way. It's about just avoiding impulsive decisions, right? Again, I think this is a sign for you to change your perspective, you know, like identify any sort of limiting beliefs or outdated practices that you might have. Maybe this is regarding money. I think this is like a sign for you to be willing to adopt new strategies or mindsets that can really open you up to opportunities for wealth. I also feel like maybe balance and patience could be really like beneficial here too. Like, maybe avoid rushing into things and trust that with like a steady and mindful approach, financial growth will follow, right? So I think that you combine like disciplined action with this willingness to change your perspective, and then I feel like you can align your, sorry guys, my dog's like scratching himself in the background. But with this, you can align your energies to manifest more money. Now, we also have the horse and the bluebell here. This one says modest fortitude. So with this one, I feel like the words like consistent effort are coming up. So maybe you dedicate some sort of like small, regular amount of time each day to like side hustle, or, you know, work on a savings plan, or like work on financial education, right? Like, maybe you spend 30 minutes a day looking up some sort of way to like enhance your skills for a side business, right? So what I'm trying to say is like, whatever effort you put in, if it's consistent, you know, even if it's modest, it will build up over time and it will lead to significant financial gains. Another thing here is maybe you can focus on like sustainable work habits, right? So avoiding burnout, right? Balance work and rest, and make sure that you maintain your productivity over the long term. So for example, if you're working on a project or a business, maybe you take regular breaks and you maintain a very reasonable work schedule and you prioritize self-care. And maybe this will help you to build wealth steadily instead of like sacrificing your own well-being. Now, another thing here I feel like is to stay grounded in your success, right? So when you do achieve financial milestones, make sure that you do celebrate them, right? Like, rather than making these huge, like, extravagant purchases or, you know, those things, which if you want to or you feel called to and you have, you know, the means to, then like, hey, like, you do what you do with like your funds. But if that's not your situation and you want to just focus on treating yourself to like a nice meal or like a day off, like, I just think that this is what's going to keep you grounded and aligned with this modesty of, you know, the bluebell. So yes, we also have sun source. So with this one, I feel like this talks about leveraging your creativity, right? So for example, if you're an artist, maybe consider creating some sort of like custom work, right? Or some sort of like limited edition piece, right? Some source of creativity that's going to bring in more income. Maybe you shine in like your personal brand, right? Because the sun is all about our personality. So for those of you who are self-employed or have a public presence or want to be, maybe you can enhance your personal brand by like showcasing your talents or your strengths. Maybe you update your website or your social media profile, or you know, maybe you create content that really does reflect your expertise in a way that really shows who you are. So I feel like with this, the more you shine, the more you're going to attract more opportunities. Another thing here is, again, I feel like it's this energy of like celebrating your successes, right? Acknowledging and celebrating even small wins. And I think that whether it's like paying off a debt or receiving a bonus or making some sort of like successful investment, I think this is also another message for you to celebrate your successes, right? Because the sun represents things like joy and celebration. So maybe like acknowledge and celebrate even the smallest of financial wins, right? Whether it's paying off a debt or receiving a bonus or making a successful investment, celebrate these milestones so that you can go ahead and attract more abundance. Another thing here is to express gratitude daily. So maybe like start each day by expressing gratitude for the financial resources that you already have, right? And I feel like with the sun's energy here, it's all about positivity and warmth. So maybe start focusing on what you're grateful for, and you know, I think this can be used as a tool to like help attract more money into your life. So with the sun here, I think it's all about, you know, being confident, using that energy, being creative, and really taking initiative so that you can align yourself with your financial abundance. We also have turtle spirit. This one says slow and steady wins the race. So with this one, I feel like one way you can manifest more money is to create a long-term savings plan, right? So maybe set up some sort of like automatic monthly transfer to a high interest savings account, or maybe like an investment fund. I think that even if you start with a small amount, the consistent contributions that you make will grow over time, right? Maybe this can be like investing in, you know, low risk, maybe like long-term assets. So maybe like low risk bonds or index funds or real estate, right? Because these are the type of investments that usually have like steady returns over time, right? So kind of like this gradual accumulation. Now remember, with all the other piles, I said to remember that these readings are for entertainment purposes only. Please do not use these readings for making financial decisions. Please use your own judgment. Only you know what is best for you. I always like to make that disclaimer, but like to make that disclaimer so that we can talk about specific examples so that you have ideas to work with and play with. Okay. For some of you, again, I think this is going to be developing a side business or something like a hobby or a skill. Maybe like you're a crafter or a writer, or, you know, you want to start a small side business doing consulting, right? I think that you're going to focus on gradually expanding your customer base and reinvesting your profits into the business to really ensure that growth, and, you know, make sure that it's slow and steady growth. Now, we also have cleansing body and spirit here. So with this one, I feel like one thing that you can do maybe to reset is to take some sort of like cleansing bath, like a ritual bath. Maybe you add like, you know, your favorite herbs, lavender, sage, whatever it is, eucalyptus, make it like a spa, right? And I think that you can use this time to meditate and like visualize any sort of financial blockages or limiting beliefs being washed away. This is your time to envision yourself being surrounded by abundance and prosperity as you renew yourself and your energy, right? Another thing that you can do here too is maybe like declutter your space. They say that this is really important in terms of the manifestation process. Maybe go through your home and clear out any sort of clutter, you know, clear out your desk and your wallet or any sort of space where you handle money or you earn money or you generate money. And as you declutter, you know, set the intention to release any sort of old stagnant energy and make room for new financial opportunities, right? Imagine your space being filled with very fresh, abundant energy that attracts wealth. We also have luck. This one says lime. And then we have Capricorn energy here. So with this one, I feel like, again, it comes back to like setting these very clear financial goals, right? Define exactly how much money you want to manifest, right? And by when. So for instance, set a goal to increase your income by a specific amount within the next 6 months, right? So if you're making $1,000 a month, Now maybe you want to increase this by $2,000, so you want to be making $3,000 in 6 months, something like that, right? Like that's an example. Another thing here is to create a structured plan, right? So going through and making some sort of financial plan to track your progress, right? Or making some sort of detailed budget, right? Really outline the steps that you need to take so that you can achieve those financial goals, right? And then you can go ahead and figure out, what percentage of your income each month you need to save for basics. Do you want for fun and play? Do you need for savings and investing and, saving for a rainy day? All those kinds of things. Another thing here too is I feel like maybe visualization could work. Maybe visualizing yourself really. So when I say visualization, sometimes I also think about it as, or I also like to say that if you don't like doing visualizing when you're manifesting, and you find that, like, 'cause some people say they can't do it. They're like, I'm not much of a visualizer. So, sometimes like getting into journaling, right? Writing it out, acting it out, moving it out, running it out, thinking positive affirmations when you're running in the morning or walking, that kind of stuff. Sometimes I think that really kicks in the ability of our bodies to start believing in our goals and believe in our ability to achieve them. So yes, I also feel like with the Capricorn energy here, I feel like maybe it's time to like embrace more qualities like discipline and perseverance when it comes to your journey in manifesting more money, right? I also feel like affirmations are going to be huge here. So like maybe you say, I attract abundant opportunities, right? Or I manage my finances with focus and I manage my finances well. Or luck is on my side as I build financial success and growth, right? Or something like that, right? I also think it's a good time to leverage Capricorn's thinking, strategic thinking. So maybe you look at market trends or some sort of like financial opportunity with a strategic mindset, right? So I think this is all about combining luck with like Capricorn's practical approach. And again, I feel the need to say like celebrate small wins, right? Recognize when you have hit some sort of milestone, right? This will definitely help you to keep continuing on, right? Modest fortitude. So yes, we also have noticed your instinct. This one says your brain wants to make things easy for you. It builds shortcuts to free up capacity. These shortcuts need to be examined occasionally. Otherwise, you might be headed on autopilot in the wrong direction. Think of your knee-jerk reactions as conversation starters. Sometimes your instincts make valid points. Other times they're operating based on experience. Other times they're operating based on an experience you've had when you were 6 years old. You've got to ask yourself to see which shortcuts are actually serving you. Lean into your shortcuts before allowing them to take the lead. So yeah, maybe this is a sign to trust your gut. Maybe notice what your body's telling you, especially when making financial decisions, right? If it doesn't feel right, trust that. If it does feel right, explore that. So yes, the next thing I want to do here is I would love to roll some astro dice to find out what else you can do to manifest more money. Pile 4. Okay, you have the South Node in Aquarius in the 7th house. Okay, so with the South Node in Aquarius in the 7th house, I feel like this could talk about either like lessons related to either past life or karmic patterns, maybe related to like relationships or partnerships or collective work. So I think one thing that you can do here is reflect and maybe release past relationship patterns. So maybe think back on times where you've had relationships that felt very restrictive or maybe overly dependent, and work on releasing those patterns by focusing on creating a more healthy and more balanced relationships, on creating healthier and more balanced relationships in your life, because I feel like this can free up your energy to attract new and prosperous connections. Another thing here is to collaborate in new ways, right? So partner with like-minded individuals or people on creative or unconventional projects. maybe use your ability to think outside of the box and embrace these progressive ideas, which can really lead you to new income streams. Maybe you can think about things like technology or social causes or community building, right? I also think that maybe this is a chance to tap into collective resources, right? So maybe, again, like, or maybe you crowdfund a business idea, or you join some sort of community-based cooperative, or, you know, something like that, leveraging the power of a group. Aquarius is also associated with technology and innovation, so I feel like social media, online platforms, any sort of digital tool would be probably very prosperous for you. Maybe like creating an online course, some sort of digital product, or maybe some sort of social media campaign that really resonates with a collective audience. Maybe you offer services to build connections, right? Maybe you do something to create win-win scenarios. Yeah, I just feel like maybe you look into like unconventional income sources, because Aquarius can be a little unconventional. But yeah, thank you so much, Pile 4. I hope this was really helpful. Thank you so much. Please give this video a like if it resonates. It really does help the channel. Comment below with what pile you chose. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Take care of yourself. I hope to see you on the next video after this. I have a playlist on my channel, Tidal Tarot, with a ton of pick-a-card readings, everything from career, money, love, manifestation, relationships, all of the topics. So check it out if you haven't already. And yeah, have a beautiful day or night from wherever you are watching. Take care. Bye, Pile 4.